Hello and welcome to the exercise 2. So let's do the exercise 2, which is nothing but creating a file class. So these are the exercise that you will be doing. You have to create a files class. Then you have to create two methods. First method is to display content method, which will accept a file name as an input parameter. So whatever file name is passed, you have to display the content. And you have to pass another file name to another method called getContent, which will return the content of that file. Okay. You will pass the whatever file name is passed. This method has to work accordingly with that file and try to display the content and try to fetch the data from that file. Okay, and you will pass the test.txt as an input, and then you have to call these two methods. Okay, so pause this video here and then you can do this exercise now. Okay, so let's do this exercise. So let's create files.php. Open this in Sublime. Let's create the files. So we have two methods. And getContent should return the content of the file. And file name, whatever file name we are passing, we have to fetch the content from this file name and return it. So we say we're going to use a string type. Then we have to return the content of it. Okay, so these are the two methods that we'll creating as a part of files class. Okay, so let's implement this, then we'll create an object and call these methods. So first let's create the display content. So for that, first you have to check whether the file exists or not. So we'll use a method called file_exists, and obviously we'll pass the file name to it. And if the file doesn't exist, then we'll obviously return. We can even say a statement to say file name does not exist, so that it doesn't break the program and do a clean exit. Okay, or else we can just get the output and print them. Okay, let's implement the getContent. You can even say the same thing. If file doesn't exist, return out. And this time you can store this into a variable. Okay, and then you can return the content. Okay, we have created two methods, display content and get content. Display content, we use echo statement to print the content of the file. Get content will load that into a variable and then return that content to us via the method. So let's create the instance of this class. Okay, and using this instance we will call the methods of it. So we'll say display content test.txt. Next we'll write the echo content. I'll say here is file content. You can say get content. Okay, so because we say string, we have to mention double quotes. So let's execute this. Okay, it's saying the file doesn't exist, so let's create the file. Okay, then we'll run the file. Okay, so you have the message coming in two different formats. One is printing from the method and another is fetching from the class and then printing on the echo statements. Okay, so this is so simple to understand OOP's concept here. You can convert any of the real life operations that you do into an object. Okay, and then you're doing a logical grouping of your code And this logical grouping is basically via the methods and the properties. And once you understand how to group your code, then the major benefit you're going to get is reusability and modularity in your code. Now you have just created, with the two exercises, we have created files and bank. If bank want to access some of the files, it depends on the files class. The files class will basically operate on the file. We have seen database class operates on the database. We have seen employee class operates on the employees. So this is how you think in objects and organize the class in methods and properties. Okay, so this is the exercise, and I hope you have done this exercise. If you have not done this exercises, it's highly recommend you do this exercise so that you understand this concept very well. Okay, so that's all this lecture on this exercise 2, and I'll see you in the next one.